What's up, guys? Today we're going to be shutting down commenters that are supporting Gypsy Rose on my TikTok. I don't blame her for what happened. She literally thought she was 19 years old at the time of the unaliving. She literally didn't even know her own age. First of all, she was 23 years old at the time of the unaliving, and she found out that she was 19 when she was 19. So she committed the crime 4 years later after already knowing. Furthermore, how does thinking you're a few years younger than you actually are justify her brutally murdering someone? You know what I mean? Oh, I thought I was 16, so... Yep. Like what? Did you see the medicine cabinet filled with pills that Dee Dee used to pump Gypsy with? Yeah, she totally deserved that. Are you talking about the overstuffed medicine closet that a hoarder put together? A lot of these medications were over the counter, like Advil. I believe there were 6 or 8 bottles of like super tough mouthwash in there. Like a whole bunch of random ass shit that in the police report said the majority of them were still factory sealed. Dee Dee literally doped Gypsy up to the point where she couldn't even speak or walk. Girl, please. Where's the proof on that? There's plenty of home videos, interviews with other people that Gypsy's speaking just fine. Allegedly, there was one time where CPS came to the house and Dee Dee gave Gypsy medication to where she could not talk. But again, that hasn't been proven. And as far as giving her medication that paralyzes her, we all know that's bullshit as well. Gypsy knew that she could walk. She walked every single night when her mother went to sleep. Furthermore, the photos from the house of the crime scene, there was no wheelchair track in the house. It was all cluttered. Also, the wheelchair was covered in dust. This girl walked. Gypsy tried to run away a numerous amount of times, and Dee Dee kept bringing her back to the home and abusing her further every single time she tried. First of all, Gypsy Rose tried to leave one time, and I use that term leave loosely because she literally left the phone with the address of Dan's house, which is where she was going. Also, whenever she left Dan's house to go back with her mother, she stole money from him. A lot of people are speculating that was Dee Dee and Gypsy's plan. She did not try to leave or run away multiple times. She tried it literally once. And as far as the dog leash comment that she was tied to the bed, that has not been proven. And whenever the police came and searched the house, there were no ropes, leashes, or chains anywhere on the property. Dee Dee also made Gypsy get a feeding tube when it was not necessary. She literally tortured the girl. So Gypsy Rose's feeding tube was necessary, and medical records and doctor statements prove that. Gypsy Rose's medical records were literally stating, and her doctors were stating, that her body was not absorbing enough nutrients to properly grow. She was not hitting any of her mile markers. She was stuck in the body of a child because she could not progress into an adult. And if she wouldn't have gotten a feeding tube and her body wouldn't have absorbed all these nutrients, she could have died. Like, think about that. If you don't eat, what happens? Dee Dee had her salivary glands removed for absolutely no reason. That is considered torture and abuse. Check your facts. You check your facts, because not only did Gypsy Rose not have her salivary glands removed, they were reduced, but it was for good reason. She was producing an insane amount of drool. And a lot of people are saying, oh, Dee Dee used to put Orajel in her mouth to make her drool so she could get the surgery. Doctors disproved that. Even if Dee Dee put Orajel in her mouth, it would not produce that much amount of drool or saliva. They weren't even removed, they were just reduced. And that's what's going on with the next person who is saying she had her teeth ripped out of her head. She had her teeth ripped out, medically removed, because of the salivary gland reduction. Then she wasn't producing enough saliva in her mouth, and her teeth started to decay, also due to medications that she was on. But those medications were also necessary. Going back to the salivary gland reduction, microdeletions literally explains that. The feeding tube, microdeletions, explains that. Gypsy has microdeletions. That she has that gene. Am I a medical professional that knows every single thing about every single thing? No, but you can look at the medical records and you can look at the facts and you can look at what these doctors are saying, and everything lines up if you care to look. Gypsy Rose was a child when all of this took place. How can y'all literally blame a child? She is a victim and will always be a victim. She was 23 when she murdered her mom. That is not a child. No matter how you want to spin it, that is an adult. Gypsy Rose literally had no other option. It was kill or be killed. That is a 2-part, I'm going to disprove your comment statement. Gypsy Rose had no other option. In court, she literally said she had plenty of options. She had a phone, she had a laptop. She would sneak out and go to guys' houses. She would go to, I believe it's like a Comic-Con cosplay events. She had options. She could have spoken up. She could have reached out via email, Facebook post, anything on social media from her phone or her computer. As far as the self-defense argument, that's not self-defense. This was premeditated and planned murder. They planned it for 2 years. For it to be self-defense, she would have had to be in imminent danger in that moment, scared for her life. I'm about to die right now. She wasn't. She plotted and schemed a whole bunch of different plans, picked that one over the span of 2 years. And for the people saying that it was kill or be killed, that is simply not true. If it wasn't Dee Dee, it would have been Gypsy. And y'all would have been so sad if Gypsy would have died because Dee Dee killed her. Dee Dee wasn't trying to kill Gypsy. Let's take a moment and pretend like Dee Dee was even medically abusing Gypsy. Dee Dee was using Gypsy and her story for money, for profit, for attention, for fame, for free things such as a house, a van, trips, a special bathtub, all of these things. Gypsy was the meal ticket. And if Gypsy would have died, all of that would have stopped. There would have been no trips. There would have been no more free things. There would have been no more donations. There would have been nothing. She literally would have been cutting off her only form of income. That makes no sense. Dee Dee would have killed Gypsy. All of it would have been over. And then she would just be alone in her home with no job, possibly living off welfare. I don't think that was her plan at all. Yes, Dee Dee committed massive amounts of fraud, but I also believe that Gypsy did have medical issues. She did not have cancer like Dee Dee said she did. She did not go through chemotherapy, which Dee Dee said she did. That was one of the things they used to get special treatment, donations, trips, camps, Disneyland. But she did have microdeletion. She did have it wasn't muscular dystrophy, it was another muscular disease. There were a lot of things that Gypsy did have, but Dee Dee took that a step further and really stretched the truth and blatantly lied about other things to keep the fraud going. The thing about all of these comments that these Gypsy supporters are making is every single one of them has proof to not be true. All of these have been disproven, yet people haven't done their own research and don't have an extensive amount of knowledge on what they're talking about. They're just regurgitating what the media is telling them, what Gypsy Rose is telling them. If any of these people would do a simple Google search for any of the things that they have said, 99.9% of the time, it'll be the first thing that pops up on the page. But no one wants to do that. They want to believe the lies and the narrative that is being fed to them. And I can't help you if you aren't willing to learn or do your own research. So to the Gypsy Rose supporters, congratulations, you are also being manipulated by her. Anyways, guys, as always, if y'all like my content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, I don't have a constant posting schedule yet, but I'm trying to get on top of that. Thank y'all so much for hanging out.